Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. In this masterclass explainer, we're going to meticulously break down the absolute essentials of financial controls at the front desk. We'll be exploring the rigorous structures, the daily policies, and the exact procedures that safeguard a hotel's revenue. So, let's jump right in.
I want to start us off with a fundamental concept. Think of it like this. While hospitality is all about warmth, the administrative side must be defined by cold, hard precision. This dichotomy right here, it's the absolute core of our industry. When guests walk through our doors, they're experiencing a place of rest, comfort, and personalized care. But behind the scenes, a hotel is a highly complex business. The front office is essentially the primary gateway for revenue collection. We're talking about processing thousands of transactions every single day, often juggling multiple currencies and totally different payment platforms. So to keep the financial health of the property intact, we have to operate with absolute, flawless precision.
Here's our roadmap for today. First up, strategic guest credit management. Second, we'll cover disciplined cash handling. Third, modern payments and holds. Fourth, defending against fraud. And we'll wrap up with the essential audit trail. Okay, Section 1, Strategic Guest Credit Management, Trust and Verification. So, there's actually a pretty common misconception that every single guest pays for their stay the exact moment they check in. But in reality, a huge chunk of a hotel's revenue comes from high-value corporate clients, government agencies, and extended stay guests who operate entirely on credit. A vital term you're going to hear constantly in hotel finance is the city ledger. The city ledger represents those specific accounts that have been formally approved to operate on credit. But listen, credit is a privilege, right? It's not a right. It takes a really delicate balance of trust and rigorous verification. A front office manager makes sure credit is only extended after a formal background check. And once they're approved, the manager sets a very firm credit limit, a maximum allowable balance. If a company hits that limit, boom, immediate payment is required before any more charges can accrue. Now, to keep an eye on the health of these city ledger accounts, we rely on what's called an aging report. We track unpaid balances by grouping them based on exactly how long they've been sitting there, 30, 60, or 90 days overdue. As a front office manager, you're going to be reviewing this data all the time. It lets you take swift, decisive action on these accounts before a simple overdue invoice turns into completely uncollectible bad debt. Think of it as your financial early warning system. Moving on to Section 2, Disciplined Cash Handling. Standardized shift controls. Now, we obviously live in a highly digital world, but make no mistake, physical cash is still a massive part of daily operations, especially in major international hubs where guests are arriving with all sorts of currencies. And because cash is completely untraceable once it leaves the desk, our handling procedures have to be fiercely disciplined. Every single cashier is assigned their own individual house bank, basically a dedicated cash drawer, and sharing drawers that is strictly, without exception, prohibited. Why? Because the very second two people touch the same cash drawer, individual accountability is completely destroyed. If $50 goes missing, you literally cannot pinpoint the source of the error. We absolutely must preserve individual accountability at all times. And that leads us to the end of the shift, and a really crucial daily procedure known as the blind drop. Doing a blind drop means the cashier counts out their physical cash and receipts without looking at what the property management system, the PMS, says they should have. Only after that physical count is locked in does a supervisor come over and verify it against the computer's expected total. This kind of reconciliation instantly highlights any overage or shortage. It guarantees that discrepancies are investigated right then and there on the spot, rather than days later when everyone's memory is fuzzy.
Section 3, Modern Payments and Holds. Securing the revenue.
A modern front office has to be flawlessly equipped to handle a huge array of payment methods to actually secure the hotel's revenue. We just talked about cash, but obviously credit cards are the industry standard for securing a reservation. When a guest hands you their card at check-in, you aren't just swiping it to be nice. You are performing a pre-authorization. You're putting a temporary hold on the card that covers the total cost of the room, the taxes, plus a predetermined, estimated amount for incidentals. Things like the minibar or spa charges. This is your payment guarantee. It's a shield that protects the hotel, so if a guest rushes out without stopping at the desk to settle their folio, the property isn't left holding the bag for an unpaid bill. And let's put that into the context of the broader payment landscape today. When you compare traditional payments like physical cash or manual bank transfers to the new digital wallets and mobile payment platforms, it's night and day.
These modern tools are now integrated directly into our property management systems. It is a total game changer. It gives our guests a completely frictionless checkout experience while simultaneously giving the hotel incredibly high levels of data encryption and security. It really is the perfect blend of high-tech convenience and ironclad financial safety.
Let's dive into Section 4, Defending Against Fraud, the Manager as Internal Auditor.
So having this incredibly high volume of fast-paced transactions at the front desk naturally creates some vulnerabilities. We have to constantly defend against risks that can silently drain a property's revenue. And that means the front office manager has to step up into the demanding role of an internal auditor. We're actively looking for unauthorized comp or complimentary discounts that might get handed out to friends or just given without a valid reason. We're hunting for unrecorded cash payments, where the money somehow never makes it into the house bank. And we are particularly vigilant against the processing of fake refunds, where an employee might actually try to route a guest's refund straight onto their own personal credit card.
So what do we do about it? How do we mitigate these risks? Well, it's all about systematic checks and balances. Step 1 is actively monitoring transaction logs for unusual patterns. Actually, you want to look for things like a suspiciously high number of manual price overrides or voided transactions. Step 2, we regularly rotate cashier assignments, so no single person monopolizes a specific shift or a specific drawer. And Step 3, we require dual signatures for high-value refunds. That ensures at least 2 sets of eyes verify the transaction. Seriously, remember this, transparency is literally the greatest enemy of fraud. When the team knows every single action is being audited, the temptation for dishonesty pretty much disappears.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the Essential Audit Trail, Documentation and Defense.
Listen, all the controls we've discussed today, they mean absolutely nothing without concrete proof. The front office must maintain a rigorous, professional filing system, both physically and digitally. I need you to commit this golden rule of hotel finance to memory right now. If a transaction is not documented, it effectively did not happen. Period. Without proper documentation, you have no proof, you have no accountability, and you have zero defense.
An exhaustive audit trail is going to consist of formally signed registration cards, verified credit card slips, officially stamped invoices, and guest-signed folios. Now, why does all this paperwork matter so much? Because when a guest later calls up their credit card company to dispute a charge, or when the property suddenly undergoes a rigorous tax audit, this paperwork is the hotel's sole line of defense. By keeping a pristine digital and physical audit trail, you are protecting the hotel from financial loss, you're guaranteeing legal compliance, and you ensure your records can stand up to any level of professional scrutiny.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one absolutely crucial question to ponder. How will you balance the warmth of your hospitality with the precision of your financial controls? As future leaders studying at Europe Hotel School, your success is going to depend entirely on mastering this dual strategy. You have to provide flexible, welcoming service that elevates the guest experience, but at the exact same time, you must strictly enforce the cold, hard precision of administrative oversight. Thank you so much for engaging with this material today, and I wish you the absolute best as you apply these rigorous standards out there in your hospitality careers.